Hi, this is Quentin Lee, and you're watching channelapa.com. My film is called The People I've Slept With. It's a sex comedy about a young girl who likes to party, and she's been partying a while, and then she suddenly gets pregnant, and it's about her journey to find out who's the baby's daddy. And it's also a movie about her friendship with her gay best friend, played by Wilson Cruz, and obviously the title character, it's Angela, is played by Karen Anna Chung from Ballad Tomorrow. Well, I was hanging out with Karen and maybe 2, 3 years ago, and we were just talking that we should do something together. And then we started talking about our dating experiences and different stories, and I thought that was actually pretty funny. And so, because we probably met a lot of crazy people and dated a lot of crazy people in our lives. So we figured that you should do something kind of like, Asian American movie, a comedy, particularly. Not as a comedy, but a movie about a strong Asian American female protagonist. That's what we want to do. And obviously, Karen is also, we're also very tied to the gay community, and so we want to do something very positive, gay positive film too. So that's how the story comes about. Oh, a lot of things didn't make it. Even with the shooting script, there was a scene in the beginning of the movie about like Karen, about to get married to this, an African American guy, kind of like a really hot looking gentleman type of guy, and then somehow he asked her, well, how many people have you slept with? And then she started like counting, just a whole number of people, and then the guy ended up dumping her, and so that was sort of the inciting incident, but we ended up having to cut it out because we weren't. I just wasn't happy with some of the performances, and we shot that scene really fast. So now in the movie you actually you dive right into it. So, and we also think that, well, she does. Why should she actually explain herself, like why she's like a slut, she's just is, So that's why we end up cutting the scene out. Yeah, but it will be the DVD extra. Reaction has been really, really positive. First of all, as filmmakers, you worked on this movie for like God knows, for like years, and then you just do not even find. I mean, especially as a comedy, it's like you don't laugh at any of the jokes, and it's amazing to actually just be in the theater or just even outside the theater. I could hear people laughing at the jokes, which is kind of like great, great feeling. I think the movie definitely connected with an audience, and so we're very happy about it. And even in Asia, I think that people, the Asian audience still, and there's some jokes they didn't get, but as a whole, it still plays very universally. So which is very good. Made the movie with an Asian American audience in mind because we're thinking that, because sometimes a lot of times you think about Asian American film, it's always kind of like you think about like it's kind of serious melodrama, whatever. There's not really a lot of comedy, especially romantic comedy. So we want to make an Asian American film that's just fun for people to watch. Like, if you're like Asian American, you want to say, well, I want to watch a date movie tonight. What would I watch? The People I've Slept With, because it's funny, it's sexy, and that's what we want to do. Because there isn't really a date or Friday night, Saturday night movie for Asian Americans to watch. So that's what we want to do. We have a rap, we have a North American rap, that's representing the movie. We're selling it to the distributors here, and we also have an international sales agent. So sales is a little slow because of the economy and stuff. But actually, we just made a deal with Logo, and it's gonna be on TV. But so now we're working backwards. We still need to like sell the rest of the rights. So at least the movie will be out there somewhere somehow. Yeah, and especially I think like playing Fusion in LA and also playing the San Francisco Asian American Film Festival, it created a lot of momentum for the movie. And I don't know how things are going to turn out, but I'm pretty positive that there is going to be a life for this movie, and it's sort of have its life on its own, connecting to an audience. And I started Film Hustler because I knew I was going to be on the festival circuit, and I wanted to shoot like the first 6 festivals, which was like Hawaii, San Diego, Vancouver, Hong Kong, and Taipei, so that I could like do it as a little promotion with the film, But it sort of like became, I figured like since I'm starting that, because somebody called me a hustler, I don't know why. There's a sales agent, actually a very very respectable sales agent, and then I was talking to her on the phone one time, and she was saying like, "Hey, Quentin, I think you're kind of talented, and you're kind of a hustler." I said, "I am? I don't know." So I was a little bit taken aback by it, because and a few people have told me that I was a hustler. I said, I am a hustler. And then now that I think about it, and people think that's a good thing. You gotta hustle. Like otherwise, it's true, right? Because if you don't hustle, you're not gonna get, especially for an independent filmmaker, you're not gonna, get the attention. So I eventually kind of grew into this label, and then I just thought, I should just do that, called Film Hustler. So this became filmhustler.com. And now it's becoming like just my blog basically, and I'm trying to get other people to blog on it, just about film, But I think my focus is more on the material that I like, which is edgier material, and just like not the very mainstream broad material, but kind of like we're trying to discover like edgy, interesting movies, a little bit like Twitch, but less genre. Sure. Koji, Stan, and I. Koji is the writer-producer. God. Koji is the writer-producer. I'm the director-producer, and Stan is the producer. We're developing like an Asian American serial killer project called Model Minority. Then I'm doing another serial killer movie called After Me Disaster. But I'm really into like dark material and kind of like horror film, stuff like that. So I'm trying to move towards that direction. Well, it's actually based on the film script that I wrote, and the film script actually made the rounds at the studios and almost got made, but didn't get made. So eventually, I just thought like, wow, I really want to get the story out, even though it takes like millions to make this movie. But if I can make it a graphic novel, then at least I can get the story out, and that's why I started working. I worked with John to co-create this novel. A Campus Ghost Story is basically, it's like Sixth Sense meets Pulp Fiction. It's about 3 interconnected ghost stories that kind of like get set off on a campus because this girl jumps off the clock tower. It's not like a mystery, horror, supernatural thriller. It's actually a very, but it's basically, we're trying to update the ghost story genre with a collegiate life. That's what we're trying to do, and it's co-created by John Han. Basically, I did the story and writing, and then John did all the drawing. And it's campusghoststory.com. And it's online, and you can buy them from amazon.com. Well, I want to watch a date movie tonight. What would I watch? The people I've slept with, because it's funny, it's sexy, and that's what we want to do.